What's going on? I'm Ricky Riley, and today we're going to take a look at the Fender GTX100. So in January of 2025, this is still Fender's flagship Mustang modeling amplifier, and it's essentially an all-in-one do-everything box. And when I say do it all, I really kind of mean it all, because this thing has tons of amp models in it, tons of built-in effects that you can put before the amp or after the amp, whatever you want. It's got a beautiful app you can use to program all your sounds in. It's got a built-in tuner and Bluetooth connectivity and a built-in looper, and the list goes on and on and on. But despite all of that, people don't really talk about this amp that much. Now, you could make the argument that this amp was just eclipsed by other amps that came out right around the same time. One of them being the Boss Katana, which, if we're going to be honest, has really held supremacy in this all-in-one affordable amp category for quite some time. But also the Fender Tone Master came out right around that time, and that was Fender's top-of-the-line digital offering. But in my opinion, those reasons are secondary to the real reason that people don't talk about this amp very much. And to give you that reason, I'm just going to quickly walk you through what it's been like to own this amp. So just like everybody else who bought one of these amps, it was a very attractive proposition to me. An all-in-one box that looked sharp and was reasonably priced. So I was like, sign me up. I ordered one, it came in, I took it out of the box, plugged in. And when I started playing, I just really didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. All the bad stuff that people talk about when they talk about solid state amps and digital modeling amps, it was present. It was shrill and it was harsh and it sounded thin and tinny. But what was worse than that was the feeling of playing this amp. It was like I'd put something into it and something else would come out. So it was just very strange. It was a strange experience to play this amp. And I thought, man, I guess I just don't like that amp. I put it up for sale on Reverb, and while it was just sitting there, I figured, you know what? I'm going to open up the app, and I'm just going to start from scratch. I want to pick an amp, maybe put a reverb behind it, set all the EQ at noon, and play. When I did that, I realized the real reason why nobody talks about these amps is the presets are so bad. Fender, if you're listening, please don't take a solid state or digital amp and have the presets all with the treble cranked way high. Everybody who's going to sit down and play this thing is going to hate it because they're going to be like, oh, that's trash. It's all sharp and tinny. And realistically, it was just that on the presets, all of the treble knobs were cranked. It was like somebody who had hearing damage up in the upper register of their hearing was making these presets and just couldn't hear how insanely shrill they were. Like, they were shrill at low volume, but when I cranked it up, it was like enough to rip your head off with the treble. So when I started from scratch and just built my own sounds from the ground up, that's when I realized the amp models inside the GTX 100 are superb. They're fantastic sounding amp models, and it's a crime what they did to them with those presets. So what I've done for you in this video is just pick a handful of my favorite amps inside of it and set all the EQ at noon, put a reverb behind the amp, and we're just going to play through them with a Strat style guitar. And I think what you're going to hear is going to be relatively impressive to you. So a couple things to note before we get going with the sounds. Number one, Fender has nothing to do with this video. They didn't pay me. They didn't send me this amp. I don't even know the guy, to be honest with you. And secondly, this is not going to be a full deep dive where we go over every single amp model and every feature and every blah, because that would be a really, really long video. If you want, I can do another video where we maybe pick one amp and then I'll show you all the different effects that it has, or whatever. Just let me know in the comments. But without further ado, let's get going. Let's listen to the amp sounds. So there you have it. That was the Fender GTX100 Meat and Taters edition, where we just looked at the tones of the amps. Let me know what you think of this amp in the comments, and make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.